the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, approval of the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second that.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then next up is the authorization of the payment of bills.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the payment of bills. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good. All right, treasurer's report.
Extensive and busy as always.
Very efficient as well.
I make a motion that we approve the treasurer's report as written.
Go ahead.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Give everybody a chance.
Unanimous. Let's see here.
Be quiet.
Cemetery.
Yep, go ahead. Cemetery report is next.
The building has actually been dropped off and is up on the pad right now as we speak.
Yeah, Jim showed me pictures of it. It's looking good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the cemetery report as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Codes.
I didn't see anything of striking. Usually a great report as usual.
I will make a motion that we accept the codes report as written.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, good. Okay. Dog control. Couple of strays.
All got returned. That's good, I think. Except one, I guess, the golden retriever. I hope it got found at home.
Oh, if you're missing a 5-year-old golden retriever male, I'll make a motion that we accept the dog's report as written.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, unanimous. DPW.
Well, they did a good job on Warren Street. I know, picking up all the trees and junk and stuff, so I'm pretty happy with them.
They put up the, I didn't know if I mentioned it now, I might as well. They put up a new sign at Arnold's Florist. It's one of the Pomeroy Grant historical markers.
Oh, yeah.
The ceremony for that, the official photo op event is scheduled for 1:00 p.m. on Tuesday, May 17th. So if anybody can make that,
2 o'clock?
1:00.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be there.
So Tuesday, May 17th, 1:00.
They're in business like 100 years or more.
It's like more, it's like 150 or something.
It's 150.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know Phil wanted to say, he's got the tree planting list together for the spring planting season, but if we have any homeowners or residents that were on the list or had wanted to be on the list, call the office or DPW to pick out which tree you want.
And Amnesty Day is coming up, right?
Amnesty Day is this Saturday. Make sure you have some sort of ID that you're a village resident, because we will be checking. Last year, we really had a whole lot of stuff, more than usual, and it turns out that there was a lot of people from outside the village that were utilizing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is a village credit. All the other municipalities have their own credits. We choose to use it this way for our village residents. And it's not really fair to our village residents if we have outside
Right.
Oh, of
folks
course.
coming in.
I'll second that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the streets and parks report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. All right, fire department.
Charles Ford is awesome. I liked his report.
Very concise.
Yeah, I liked it. You know, he's genuine.
For all of our residents, a friendly reminder that we are still in a no burn until May 15th. There are exceptions to that, but I don't know if they're off the top of my head, so contact the fire department.
What would be the best way to get a higher, get a hold of?
Yeah, I'll just do it now.
Actually, probably just the office. And
I just need to get a picture of that community bulletin board for future use.
okay,
Call.
Can I do a shout out real quick? On the
Yeah,
fire-
sorry,
while we're on the
Paul,
fire
there.
department? I just want to say a shout out to Ken Ford, our local fireman. He saved a 10-year-old's life Sunday.
Wow.
Asthma attack, he quit breathing and he got him breathing again till the paramedics showed up.
Very
Just wanna
good.
Tell him,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was gonna bring that up, but I'm glad you did, Phil, because that's I can't imagine saving somebody's life,
Yeah.
let alone a kid. That's fantastic.
Bill, did you have anything else on DPW? I forgot that you're on screen.
I just want to say that, well, if you want me to throw it in there real quick, the roads that I plan on paving this year is railroad tracks on James Street to Main, the railroad tracks on Copeland Ave to Main Street, Brentwood Drive, Pine Street, Hannum Ave.
Well, there you go.
So that's for the village residents. I know you've got at least one, what's the word I'm looking for? No. Bid. You got one bid, right, Phil?
Yeah, I got one bid. I should have the other bid within tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay,
What's the bid
Yep.
for?
for the paving.
Oh, paving.
Yes, that's, I was drawing a line
I
blank.
don't think we got a whole lot of choices. do you?
And for our residents, we'll put the list out, the streets to be affected. We'll put the list out on the website through the Homer News and our normal media. I make a motion that we accept the fire department report as written.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. Police department.
Did you guys get Mr. Chief Pittman's little note that I sent to me?
Yes,
I thought it was pretty darn cool, actually. I questioned the 90, stops, and he came back with percentages, and he made a very good. One of the things I'm always concerned about is turning Homer into a speed trap town where people won't come here to shop and have a drink down the Dashers or something because they're gonna get maybe harassed or such. But he made it very clear in that little note that that's not the case and that it really helps us. And so I asked them to send it to you guys, but it was a really good explanation for what they've been doing. So I'm highly, I was very impressed. So I'll make a motion that we accept this group.
Chief, do you have anything you want to add to your report?
I'll throw on to the Amnesty Day. You asked me to have an officer present.
yes,
And
sir.
I have one coming in. And then I think Zach's on here. We had the opening day Little League parade and ceremony this past Saturday. That went really well. And I'm pleased to report our officers sponsored 2 teams this year, which was really good.
It was great. It was neat.
Chief, is there anything you want to add about the National Night Out that's coming on 2 August?
Just still in the planning stage with Tanya. We're reaching out to different organizations and businesses, letting them know it's coming. Like I said, that should be a really fun night for families and So everybody gets to know our officers as well as, inviting the outside agencies as well. So,
I saw you got the, going for the traffic safety grant for 2023. Then the additional grant for child protection seats.
yeah, that's new this year. We've never put in for that. We got a technician now, Billy Bernheim's a certified technician. So what my plan is to, I put in for that grant and we would get child seats and some other equipment. And during the, I can think of 3 events each year that we would offer that service for people to check the seats. And if, the seats are in need a repair or not even repair, replacement, we would have seats on hand to offer people. That's going to be new.
Nice.
Hopefully we get it. I'll probably know end of next month, so end of June, beginning of July, the latest, if we qualified for it.
Okay. I want to commend you guys on the, you had the SROs were the first to receive the procedural justice training. How'd that go?
That went really well. We're talking, every officer there had well over 20 years of experience, and it was well perceived, and they said it was just a good reminder of the reasons why we're here. And that's to help people.
And I just want to remind everybody that you put in here that we got a lot going on with public events. American Legion Memorial Day Parade on May 30th. Homer Fireman's Field Days on Parade on June 10th. Special Olympics Law Enforcement Torch Run on June 18th. Homer High School graduation on June 25th. Holiday in Homer on July 16th. Route 90 sale is July 29th through July 30th. National Night Out on August 2nd. And the Brockway Show on August 13th.
And one other thing, I was notified today, it's called Go for the Gold. It used to be called Cops on Top at Dunkin' Donuts. That's going to be on July 28th, Thursday, July 28th.
Anything else, Chief?
Well, that's about it.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I make a motion that we accept.
Oh, you know what? What I could throw out there is, it'll be in next month's meeting, but I'd like to throw a shout out to everyone. We did the take back event, and the kiosk that we have at the PD, we usually take back between 100 and 125 pounds of medications. We took back 225 pounds this cycle.
Oh, that's
And,
impressive.
I got a bag of it.
and then
I got a bag.
we usually get about 45 cars to the town hall, the drive-through. We had 80 cars, so we're just about doubled all our numbers.
Very good.
That's great.
So somebody asked me the other day, and I didn't have the answer. We're having the Fireman Field Days parade. Are the field days going in as well, or not?
I don't, we'd have to. ask the
No,
fire department.
Just the
No,
parade
Just the parade,
Okay.
yeah.
and a barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Chief,
think
any sign of that e-bike?
Back order. I was just talking to Charlie about it today. He's looking forward to it coming in as well. So
Awesome. Okay.
the bikes are down to Action Sports our normal bikes are down there getting their maintenance. So
Good. Good.
we still have grant money from Cortland area communities that care left over to use this year for that. So
Good. All right, Pat, you made the motion, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
All right, we got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Very good.
all
Thanks.
right, I'm
Chief.
fine enough. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, recreation is next. I don't believe we have Zach on, but
Yeah, Zach is sitting in on a committee for, I think a coach or something. They've got
Okay.
5 candidates, so.
no problem. Let's see.
For our residents, the summer soccer registration is going to be through the Cortland Youth Bureau this year. We have the camps for the Homer Girls Volleyball Camp, grades 3 to 7 and grades 8 through 12. Homer Youth Football Camp will be 3rd through 8th grade, August 16th, 17th, 18th, 9 a.m. to 12. And other camps are expected, possibly bringing tennis lessons back. I know we've got that later on in the agenda.
All righty.
And then, Dan, does anybody know if we have our concert lineup posted?
Believe so.
Okay. I know he had part of it, but I think he's got the complete schedule here, so.
Yes.
Looking to be another great concert year.
I'll make a motion that we accept Zach's report as written.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, water and sewer.
That concert lineup is posted. I just couldn't get on till now.
Oh, okay. Buzz?
Yes.
Water and sewer.
Here.
Anything you want to add?
Not really, we're just continuing the leak searching and fixing leaks as we're doing that every day just about. Our machine for correlators broke down, so we're gonna get that, try to get it fixed. And see if they can fix it, but if not, we probably have to get something different.
I see more rags as usual. I don't know why people are flushing down rags, but they seem to.
It's, I don't know, it's been that way.
I hope it isn't just old diapers and stuff, but, oh well. Yeah, it's forever. I mean,
Yep.
since I've been coming here, it's constant.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion, we accept this report as written.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous, very good. All right, next up, privilege of the floor. Once, twice, thrice. Hearing none, moving on to old business.
Alright, dam removal, we've been in contact with Keystone and they had the outstanding contract for the mussel survey. They are aware of that and they're moving forward. Dan and I have been in contact with the IDA BDC to get site access from the eastern site. We don't know what exactly we need, but we figured we'd go ahead and get those approvals now. So when we're ready to go, we don't have to wait till later.
Yep, that's good.
Dan, is there anything else on dam removal?
Will be both dam removal and Solution will be asking for a time extension for working to next year.
Okay. And that's pretty much it for Salt Shed time extension. Little White Church Community Center, I've been kind of back on my heels on things, so the committee hasn't met. I'm getting ready to send another doodle poll. Although we've been talking about transferring, we're not going to wait. We can do concurrent planning because many of the members on the committee are also members of the Center for the Arts. So whatever prior planning we can do now just makes it go quicker for them later when they take over.
Yep.
Anybody have anything else on Little White Church?
Just, yeah, just that we're waiting on the attorneys to figure out the solution for us.
Yeah. Bus shelter, they're expecting June, supply chain issues. But I was talking with the county today and they do have the specs for the pad. So I asked them to send us the specs so we can at least get the pad poured. So Phil, as soon as I get those, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Pat.
All right. Comp plan, we've gone through the whole thing. Dan's putting some things together and looking to do a comp plan review in 2 weeks.
I thought we were going to, we put 20 grand away to have like Toma redo it and then some more money next year. So, but you kind of done it?
No, what we did is we just took our current comprehensive plan
Yeah.
and went through everything.
Yeah.
And we figured what we identified is we identified the things that we've already done.
Right.
The things that we're doing in progress. the things that we think might be important, but, you know, we don't have the manpower to do. And then we had some things that we just flat out said were probably not feasible. That way we can keep moving forward until we get a new comp plan done, because I don't think some of the things are gonna change very much.
I can't imagine, yeah, I
But-
just need updating.
But it may, but in the meantime, we can at least go through and see what we've done with it.
Well, I'm all for that, I just thought we'd get the public involved again and all that stuff.
Well, when we do the next comp plan, because we're within the window, every 10 to 15 years, we're within the window.
Oh, okay.
So we will redo the comp plan. That's not
So,
stopping.
so putting the money away is smart.
Right.
Okay, good. All right, I'm in.
But you know, what we were always talking about before is we have a comp plan, but how often were we looking at it?
Not very often,
So,
except when somebody wanted to do a development, they said, hey, you're what it said.
yeah. So that's what we're dusting it off, bringing it back forward and getting it up into the public eye and attention. Because a lot of things people go, well, why are you doing this? Well, it's part of our comp
It's
plan.
on our web, right?
Right. I don't know if is it posted?
Should be.
So full cop, I think it is actually, yeah.
Okay.
I believe it is.
Yeah. So,
All right, good.
Hal, did you want to talk about the linear park, because we just had that meeting?
Sure. We just had our final meeting with SUNY ESF and Seven Valleys Health Coalition and SUNY Cortland on Friday, and the SUNY ESF landscape architecture students presented us with 6 different concepts for the park. I thought each one had at least one thing that was a really great idea. So the next step is we need to bring together stakeholders, beautification committee, the Homer Garden Club, the Boy Scout troop that wanted the pollinator garden, obviously the trustees and residents, any residents that are interested, businesses, and kind of go over those 6 different concepts and have everyone maybe flag the things that they like. And then we're going to bring in a landscape architect who will take that concept that we come up with, which is sort of the blended thing, and put it together into an actual plan. And then we can approve it as a board. But we're still looking at basically just seeding, putting down grass seed this year at some point, and then we won't do any planting until next year because there's still quite a bit of planning to do, but it's moving along, and I think it's going to be a really exciting and fun park.
Absolutely.
I'll talk about the leave and brush policy too.
Yeah.
So about 6 years ago and prior to that, everyone got 2 weeks in the spring and 2 weeks in the fall. You would get told, on your water bill when your 2-week window was, and that's when you put your brush out. We changed and went to sort of a rolling system of picking it up whenever. But we're down a few people, and we got a lot of projects, and so we just can't do that without hiring more people, which is really not good. We're trying to keep everyone's taxes flat, especially during this time of inflation. So we're going back to twice a year, but instead of just a 2-week window, you're going to get a 30-day window. So you'll get an entire month. And I think it's going to be April or May in the spring, and then I think we're going to do October in the fall. You're just going to have your leaves and brush out at during those months, and they'll get picked up. I know it's a change, and I know that it was people got a little bit used to putting it out whenever, all through the summer, and we would come and get it. And in a perfect world, we would still be doing that, but again, we're trying to watch our spending as inflation creeps up. And then the next thing is the water and sewer shutoffs. We did have a moratorium on those for a while during the COVID pandemic, but we're getting now out of that, and we're going to start shutting off people's water if they are not paying their bills. So people will get notices in the mail, letting them know that we're gonna do that. You'll get plenty of warning before it gets done. Plenty of time, plenty of chances to pay your bill. And if there's if you have an extenuating circumstance financially, just call the office. We'll work with you. We're not looking to punish anyone here. We're just looking to be responsible, with what we're directed to do as a board. And that's it.
Hey, Hal, can I say something about the brush and leaf pickup, please?
Yes, you can.
Because of short notice this year, a lot of complaints and stuff, we will run the village one more time, the 23rd through the 27th. So if you do have a little bit out, and we'll get it. We get 1 week,
That's perfect.
23rd through the 27th. Thank you.
Yep. No, that's great. That's great. That's, no one should be upset now, because you got another shot at it. So very good.
Thanks, Phil.
Yes. Thank you, Phil.
No problem.
And Phil, hey, did you want to do April or May next year for the spring?
I had a lot of complaints about the April thing, so we probably will move it into May. That way,
Okay.
hopefully the snow's gone.
Gotcha.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, so it'll be May and October.
May and October. Perfect.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right. On to new business. Next up is a motion to appoint Ruth Lewis to the Zoning Board of Appeals to replace Noel Raymond Metcalf.
I'll make such a motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Next up, appoint Mike Harder to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate.
Who's Mike Carter?
I'll make,
the motion.
He's new.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. All right. Next up is approve changes to the employee handbook.
I'll make the motion that we approve the changes as outlined by Tanya to the employee handbook.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Very minor, so.
Yep. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, okay. Approve out-of-town training for Cody Johnson for fire department. What does this involve? I saw the applications, but what are we approving?
So the former fire chief actually gave him permission, and so he's already registered. And this is more for liability reasons, so that if he gets in an accident, it's covered under the insurance, as all travel is supposed to go to the board.
All right, but there's no other financial outlay on our part.
It's about $30 if you look at it. It's not high.
Okay.
Because he stays right at it. It's in like a bunker.
Okay, so that's the fees I'm seeing on these applications are the correct amounts. $41
Yep, they are.
and $65 for the other.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, all the training, because it's out of town, comes to the board for liability reasons.
Right. All right.
I'm looking for whatever training we can get any of our employees, so this is,
That's your motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right. Approve 3 recreation department positions. First up, Nancy Cavalier for varsity tennis coach and tennis camp instructor.
She's been doing this for a while. I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up, Nicolette Bavano, softball umpire, and Kristen Rowland, softball umpire.
I'll make the motion that we get both of them.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. All right. Next up is approve the sewer bond resolution.
Everybody tuck in. Hold on, a few minutes. Resolution authorizing, subject to progressive referendum, the construction of improvements to and reconstruction of the sanitary sewer system phase 2 in and for the village of Homer, Portland County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $4,512,000. and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed 4,512,000 serial bonds of said village to pay the cost thereof. Whereas the capital project hereinafter described has been determined to be a type 1 action pursuant to the regulations of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the implementation of which, as proposed, it has been determined will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. And whereas it is now desired to authorize the financing of such capital project, now therefore be it resolved by the affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer, Cortland County, New York, as follows. Section 1, the construction of improvements to and reconstruction of the sanitary sewer system phase 2 in and for the Village of Homer, Cortland County, New York, being multiple pump station reconstruction, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, apertures, and incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith, is hereby authorized, subject to progressive referendum at a maximum estimated cost of $4,512,000. Section 2, it is hereby determined that the plan for the financing of the aforesaid maximum estimated cost is by the issuance of the not to exceed $4,512,000 of serial bonds of the village, hereby authorized to be issued, therefore pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law, provided, however, that to the extent that any federal or state grants and aid are received for such class of objects or purposes shall be reduced dollar for dollar. It is further determined that 976,000 of the 1,730,000 serial bonds authorized by bond resolution dated and duly adopted May 9th, 2018, constitutes a separate portion of the cost of the reconstruction of certain pump stations, the aggregate cost of which is $5,488,000 and is hereby so approved. It is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 40 years. Pursuant to subdivision 4 of the paragraph of section 11.00 of the local finance law, it is hereby further determined that the maximum maturity of serial bonds herein authorized will exceed 5 years. The faith and credit of said Village of Homer, Cortland County, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of interest on such bonds as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds becoming due and payable in such year. There shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of said village a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same become due and payable. Subject to the provisions of local finance law, the power to authorize the issuance of and to sell bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance and sale of the serial bonds herein authorized, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the village treasurer, the chief fiscal officer. Such notes shall be of such terms, form, and content, and shall be sold in such a manner as may be prescribed by said village treasurer, consistent with the provisions of local finance law. The powers and duties of advertising such bonds for sale, conducting the sale, and awarding the bonds are hereby delegated to the village treasurer, who shall advertise such bonds for sale, conduct the sale, and award the bonds in such a manner as shall deem best for the interest of said village, including but not limited to the power to sell said bonds to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, provided, however, that in the exercise of these delegated powers, the village treasurer shall comply fully with the provisions of the local finance law and any order or rule of the state comptroller applicable to the sale of municipal bonds. The receipt of the village treasurer shall be in full acquittance to the purchaser of such bonds, who shall not be obliged to cede to the application of the purchased money. All other matters except as provided herein relating to the serial bonds herein authorized, including the date, denominations, maturities, and interest payment dates within the limitations prescribed herein and the manner of execution of the same, including the consolidation with other issues, and also the ability to issue serial bonds with substantially level or declining annual debt service, shall be determined by the village treasurer, the chief fiscal officer of such a village. Such bond shall contain substantially the recital and validity clause provided for in section 52.00 of the local finance law, and shall otherwise be in such form and contain such recitals in addition to those required by section 51.00 of the local finance law, as the village treasurer shall determine consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. The village treasurer is hereby further authorized at his or her sole discretion to execute a project finance and or loan agreement and any other agreements with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and or the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, including amendments thereto and including any instruments or amendments thereto in the effectuation thereof, in order to effect the financing or refinancing of the class of objects or purposes described in section 1 hereof, or a portion thereof, by a bond and or note issue of said village in the event of the sale of the same to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. The power to issue and sell notes to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation pursuant to section 169.00 of the local finance law is hereby delegated to the village treasurer. Such note shall be of such terms, form, and contents as may be prescribed by said village treasurer, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. The validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if, one, such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which the village is not authorized to expend money, or two, the provisions of law which should be complied with at the date of the publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with, and an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication. Or three, such obligations are authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. This resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulation Section 1.15-2. Other than as specified in this resolution, no monies are or are reasonably expected to be reserved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside with respect to the permanent funding of the object on purpose described herein. Upon the resolution taking effect, the same shall be published in a summary form in the official newspaper of said village for such purpose, together with the notice of the village clerk and substantially in the form provided in section 81.00 of the local finance law, pursuant to the provisions of section 36.00 of the local finance law. This resolution is adopted subject to permissive referendum.
Wow, that was excellent.
Need some water?
Yeah,
Okay.
extensive. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve this bond resolution.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just think that it's smart, proactive, positive, forward-thinking things that will benefit the entire village.
I think so too, yep. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. And YWCA proclamation.
I'll have to confess, this is operator error. This should have been done at the last meeting, but the YWCA would like the board to go ahead with the proclamation, so therefore I shall read it and let you guys decide. Proclamation by the Village of Homer Board of Trustees. Whereas all residents, regardless of race, creed, or ethnicity, deserve to be treated with dignity, respect, compassion, and justice. And whereas Village of Homer residents value initiatives that will end race-based disparities and make the world a more equitable, inclusive, and dignified place for all to live. And whereas the elimination of racism can be achieved only with the participation of all residents in dialogue, reflection, and action. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer supports the YWCA in its praiseworthy mission to eliminate racism, empower women, stand up for social justice, help families, and strengthen communities. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer proudly supports YWCA Cortland in celebration of Stand Against Racism, a signature campaign of YWCA USA to build community among those who work for racial justice and to raise awareness about the negative impact of institutional or structural racism in our communities. Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer hereby declares that April 29th, 2022 was YWCA Stand Against Racism Day and encourages residents, local businesses, educators, and community and faith-based organizations to celebrate diversity and advocate for the elimination of racism by taking the pledge to stand against racism at cortlandywca.org. Be it further resolved that April 25th through the 30th, 2022 was declared as YWCA Stand Against Racism Week.
Can argue with that.
Is that a motion then?
I'll make the motion that we sign it.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good.
Or your signature, boss.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no, there's those clerk.
All right, I think that's all we've got. We'll go around the horn. Anything for us, Dante?
Just listening to the resolution, did we make a environmental determination and do a short environmental form?
Yes, that was done last year.
Sweet, good. And then nothing else for me.
All righty. Kevin.
Oh, well, obviously talking with a few residents in regards to leaves and debris and things like that. But water under the bridge. I did get a chance to meet with Phil and Mike Gagliotti in reference to these flower boxes. We went down to Arnold's, personally stood in front of them to get the proper height that we wanted. We're good, they're built, they're done, they're painted. Shout out to Phil and Mike and that. Mike Gagliotti is a pretty clever guy.
Yeah, he is.
I just need to get a hold of the fire station real quick, and that's pretty much it for me.
Excellent. Patrick?
Just a friendly reminder is that telephone poles are not for posting bills or CD sales or Bob's or anything else. So those will be coming down shortly. If you have them up there and you want to keep the sign, go get it. And then attended the Town of Homer meeting on May 4th. An update on the Bridge Committee. Paul Sweeney has been appointed as the Bridge Committee Chair. He's got years of experience in bridges. So this is really a coup for us that we have somebody that actually knows and the ins and outs and intricacies of bridges. So he was approved unanimously. The initial look right now, looking at the structural report, was that the best thing to do is probably have the bridge removed. So, you know, we're in discussion with SHPO, the Historical Preservation Office, and I know we know that there are organizations that are willing to take the bridge. But he goes, the rehabilitating it is really not the best option.
Even as a footbridge?
Well, no, we could use it as a footbridge, but I don't think we want to have a footbridge on Wall Street.
Oh, no.
Well, it's gotta be removed, that we may use it someplace else.
Yeah,
Right.
we can move it to
Which I like
someplace else
that
to be a
idea.
footbridge, yeah.
Hopefully.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Memorial Day parade reminder. If you guys can get with, I know I already got Hal's and Ed's. Did you guys get my email?
Yes.
Okay. Outdoor lighting shades on the side have been approved because of the overwash into the residents' homes on North Main, so they approved that. Kelly Preston gave our legislators report. They did the press release on the methane capture system for the landfill. We have a new public health director, Nicole, and I'm gonna mispronounce her name and I apologize. And Jeske. And then she gave a brief overview on the redistricting commission results, which I think the county is discussing tonight, if I'm correct. May 19th, on the redistricting at 1800, there's going to be a public hearing. And I did manage to pick up some of the draft, some of the proposed. So I'll keep one at the village office for anybody that wants to look at it, and I have a couple for the trustees here. Let's see. And I think that's all I have.
All right. Elizabeth.
I've heard from a few village residents who are interested in serving on the recreation committee to help revamp it and get started with some new programming. And so I'm hopeful that Zach and I will announce a date coming up later this month where we can have our first committee meeting. I encourage anyone who knows of other people who might be interested in serving on the committee to reach out to them and encourage them to get in contact with me or with Zach. We'd love to have their voice as part of the meeting. And I'm excited for what we're going to cover. I think that when we hear recreation in this meeting and in Zach's reports, it really emphasizes the work that he does on behalf of local sports teams and to get kids involved with sports. And that's great. That's part of what he does. But he seems to sell himself short about some of the other programming that he's brought about and that he supports and that the committee is going to support. Just within the past month, I know Zach scrambled to put together an Easter Bunny celebration right before Easter when the weather turned. And because of his good relationship with local schools, he was able to move it inside to the gym at the high school. He also supported the library's story time night out on a Friday night 2 weeks ago, where he provided all the AV equipment for the librarians who were using one of our local parks. It really speaks to his great relationship with other providers of services here in Homer. And I think that's only going to grow.
Nice.
Fantastic. That's great. Edward.
You covered it in old business mostly.
Oh, all right. Very good. Yep. I'll just say one thing about the redistricting process. I was one of the, I don't know, citizen participants, myself and Mayor Scott, Steve from Cortland, and a few other folks. And whole thing was kind of a sham. And he and I have boycotted the last 4 or 5 meetings just because we realized it was a big waste of time. So people could probably go to that hearing that's coming up, but I probably wouldn't expect anything to occur, no matter how many people came and voiced their opinion. They had their mind set before we even started the process. So, anyway, all right. Do we need to go to executive session?
I think so, but we got questions for the media first.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was just curious. Okay. Yep. So we're going to go into executive session then, but we'll open it up to questions from the media first.
I got some questions, Hal.
Yes, sir.
I got a few, so buckle in, fellas. So bus shelter, I think this is more for you, Pat.
Yeah.
So what's causing delays on this, getting the supplies for the bus shelter?
So Handy Hut is the company that we went with,
Mhm.
and they've been having some supply chain issues getting their different parts in to complete the structure. That's from what my understanding is.
Gotcha. So you're looking to get the supplies by June now? Is that correct?
Well, Handy Hut thinks that they can have it by June or maybe end of June, but June is the month we're looking at now.
Gotcha. And if you were able to get those supplies at the time, when are you guys looking to build it, and when would it all be open by?
You know, I'm not gonna commit to that, because if I'm off, you're gonna come back and say, Pat, why isn't it done? And when we get it, trust me, it will not linger in the DPW once it arrives here in the village.
Yeah, it's a kit. It goes together quick, especially when you get your pad for it, which is probably the long pole.
Yeah, so Ken, we're gonna go ahead and get the pad port as soon as we get the specs. And then, we're just waiting on everything to come in.
Gotcha. And then how much did the bus shelter supplies as a whole cost?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, Kevin, but I think overall, we're gonna use some round numbers. It was 15,000. The county had a grant paying for just under 10,000. The village board, because we wanted to do some upgrades and make sure it aesthetically fit in with the village, we authorized up to 5,000.
Okay. And I think you already touched on this. DBW is planning to build it.
Yes, yeah, it comes as a kit, and
Like IKEA.
yeah.
And then now comp plan. When was the last comp plan completed for the village?
2010. Yeah.
So you guys try to do it about every decade if possible?
Well, the state says, every 10 to 15 years, you should relook your comp plan.
Mhm.
So we're at the 12-year mark, puts us right in the middle. And we authorized in our last budget monies to put aside to start working on it.
And how much, so there's a cost to doing a comp plan?
Well, yeah, because we last time it was done by Toma. And I think we're looking to have, I don't know,
It was 30K then.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do the same now because you already got a basis to start with, so
Yeah.
30K with 12 years of inflation probably should be enough. We hope, we expect.
That answer your question, Kevin?
Yeah, and then and I think you mentioned earlier you don't anticipate a lot of changes to the current one, or what are your thoughts on the impending one?
Well, we got a lot of good information on the pending one, but it really comes back because they'll put out a whole bunch of resident surveys. They do the resident surveys, they do public meetings. There's a lot of public input into it. So we'll see what the public says.
And when are you looking to send out those surveys and have those public meetings by?
Kevin, until we haven't even put that out to bid yet for Toma
Oh, okay.
or whoever. All right, so we have to relook at, we were looking for a grant, weren't we on that too?
We were, I don't believe we were successful last year, so.
Yeah.
Probably good, if it's on the CFA, we'll do it again this year.
Yeah, so we're also looking to do a grant to help offset the costs. So we're applying for that, so we didn't get it last year, right? No, we didn't get the grant last year, we're going to reapply this year, so if we're successful, we'll move forward quickly.
If it's offered. I
If it's
assume-
offered,
I
yeah.
assume it is.
And this is the grant to cover the cost for Toma and the
Oh,
bid?
Bucky.
It's the cost to cover for the comp plan, whoever does it.
Gotcha, okay. And is there a copy of the current plan that I can see? Or is that available somewhere?
Yes, we were just discussing that, we think it's online.
That's on,
Online, yeah, it's on our website.
Okay,
it has its own little button on the page.
It has its own little button, Kevin.
okay, awesome. And then last topic, the linear park. Where exactly is this located? I'm trying to gauge, kind of get an idea where.
Route 11, where we tore down the buildings, right before you hit the CNY Living History Center.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So like near, is it near Little Italy in that ice cream shop? Kind of.
Well, yeah, but farther, much farther down. It's on the other side of the circus house.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Oh, so towards the Living History Center.
Yeah, it goes right up to the Living History Center.
Okay.
Opposite ID booth.
Yep.
And what exactly would be included in the park? Like what activities and recreational uses will be available in the park?
So the big thing is that it's going to be an edible landscaped park, meaning that basically all the vegetation that we plant there will be edible. So there'll be nut trees, fruit bushes, edible, just regular edible plants, things like that, with signage to kind of guide people through so that they can walk through and partake of it. There'll be something that they could eat all 4 seasons. We're going to do a pavilion and a kayak takeout / launch. And then I think we're looking at some potential sort of dock type overhangs for fishing as well.
Okay. And then when is, so to speak, the grand opening of this park?
Oh, it wouldn't be until next summer. We won't be planting until next spring.
Next week. Okay. So would village residents be planting the trees, or is it like volunteers doing it?
Oh no, we have a grant to create the park, and so we'll bring in a landscaping company to actually do the work.
Oh, how much grant money's been put into this park so far?
I don't know the offhand. I think the grant was $350 or $380, and then included purchasing the 3 properties, which we did.
The original grant is 311
$311.
for the demoing, but with the demos done, there is a little bit of money left over for park construction. The amount I don't have on the top of my head.
And when did the concept of the park first come to light for the village?
The concept of the park in general, or making it edible?
Both.
Well, the original grant was secured before I started, so it's been at least 6 or 7 years. But there was quite a bit of difficulty, I think, back then in securing the purchase agreements for the 3 properties. So that took a lot of doing, but we did get it done on our end. The making it an edibly landscaped park, that was an idea that came up from Seven Valleys Health Coalition, the local food project. We were just talking about it, and they mentioned it, and they've been coordinating with SUNY Cortland and SUNY ESF to bring these classes in to do a lot of this work for us. And the students really liked it because they get to work on an actual project. And so they've come down twice, or well, actually, SUNY ESF, they've come down, I think, 4 or 5 times now. So, yeah.
It was originally in the comp plan too.
Yes.
We kicked it off way back when.
Okay. And then last question for Linear Park. What's the size of the park? Is it going to be like a larger size park or medium size?
No, it's not very big, just because of, we're very limited to the 3 properties that we purchased. And then there's a nice egg property that's in between the 3, which they are going to let us use in perpetuity as long as we, follow certain conditions. That's because it's part of their remediation site. So we can't plant anything in that section unless it's in a raised bed. But that's, probably where we'll do some parking and stuff like that at that part of it.
Okay. And then last thing, I think this is for you, Pat. So when you mentioned a bridge, was that the East River Crossing Road Bridge? That was
No, it's the Wall Street Bridge right here in the village.
Oh, okay. I just realized too, as I was asking that, I think that's Town of Homer, so I don't think it would relate to you guys. The East.
Well, the thing is the bridge belongs to the Town of Homer.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. I don't know that. All right.
That's why they're the lead agency on that.
Okay.
It's weird. It's a weird thing, but they own the 3 bridges. So
Interesting.
I'm sure they wish they didn't.
Yeah.
They've offered it to us, but we've respectfully declined.
Gotcha. All right. That's it for me. Thanks, guys.
Very good. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
All right. Seeing no other media. Have we got a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss personnel matters and possibly